Thank you for joining me. We will be starting shortly. Thank you for joining me. We will be starting shortly. I have dropped my contact information in the form. Should you need to contact me either during the live stream or after it has aired. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute. Hi, and thank you for joining me on this early Monday afternoon. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I'm a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. What is the xTool Squad, you might ask? Well, the xTool Squad is a global network of experienced makers, educators, and small business owners such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the xTool products that we own, and the demos are a mix of online and in person. It differs by the host. Some hosts will also offer material testing and skill training. Material testing involves trialing out customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to get you perfect results, whereas skill training is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with an xTool Squad member. So depending on what you want to get out of it, depends on what we will go over with you. So for example, if you say, Wayne, I'm not too comfortable with the maintenance of the laser, can you show me how to do that? It will be very much a hands-on approach of showing you how to disassemble parts, or sometimes it's as simple as pulling things out. And it might even be software related. It might be that you're absolutely fine with the physical aspect, but you need help with the software, and we'll tailor a solution to you. So that's pretty much skill training in a nutshell. Right now, xTool is running a promotion whereby all product demos are absolutely free. So what does that mean for you? You pay nothing. So you get to have a demo of any of xTool's products. You can find hosts. I will drop in the link in the comments, a link that you can click on. And if I was to show you that now, how to navigate the xTool website. So if you go to the xTool website, it will take you to the local variant. So in this case, this is the UK version of the xTool website. Along the top, you have this local support. So if you go over that to the free product demo, it'll open up in a new tab. And you can see here, absolutely free. So there is a slight cost for the apparel printer film sample, and that's something that is mailed out to you. So that's not necessarily a demo, that's a physical thing. So, and that is to cover the host time as well as shipping. So that's $12.99. So if you want a sample of the film, the DTF, that you can use with a heat press, then this is applicable to you. But otherwise, all products absolutely free to do an in-person or online demo. So me as a host, it's great because I get paid regardless if you buy a machine or not. And just for transparency, if you do end up buying a machine, the host that you select will get a small commission. So if you say to me, I am looking for an online demo of, let's go the Wonderpress, and I'll select Luton. You can say, I'm by Luton. Straight at the top is Paul. And it's a simple case of clicking on the host and clicking on the host again and entering your details. So if you're looking for a product demo, it's absolutely free. There's zero cost. Now, if you're looking for skill training or material testing, that is a price that is different host to host. So I have my hourly rates. Paul will have his hourly rates for material testing. Same with Andy. He will have his hourly rates for material testing and skill training if they offer that. So please have a look. I would always advise, where possible, go to see the products in person. You get to talk, physically touch the product, see the magic happen in real time. Every time I take my machines out, people are absolutely blown away when they see it in person. So when you see it online through your screen, it can look like some trickery. But honestly, when I take this to expos, people have seen xTool on their social media, the ads. They think it's trickery, and honestly, some of the stuff you can do, absolutely amazing. So I advise, if you're looking for a machine, please do check this out. This is a great resource. There's a whole wide range of hosts covering the span of the UK and beyond. So if you're looking for something, please reach out to one of these hosts and they'll be more than happy to help you. So with that being said, if we jump over to today's workshop, so it's more going to be going over the new releases as well as the new software features. And if someone wants me to engrave something or test on some specific material, please do reach out to me in the comments. I'm more than happy to do that. I've got a wide range of materials here in the office. So if I can do a material test while you're watching, that'd be great. If not, reach out to me afterwards. I'll be sure to help you. My contact information is in the comments as well as on the screen, so please do reach out. If I can't help you, I'm more than happy to point you in the direction of someone that can. And if you're looking for a local demo, again, I'm more than happy to point you in the direction of a host that is local to you. So if we crack on, what I want to do straight off the bat is just show you the xTool software. So if I was to just show you this software now, so this is the latest version that is available. This is version 1.8.14. This supports the new Apparel printer as well as the xTool 01. So some of the great things that you'll see with this software, this is specifically the reason why I use xTool, because they have software that makes it so easy for me to use the machine, and not just that, to make my workflow easier. So I can make more product in less time. I can train employees in less time with less problems. So xTool have a complete ecosystem. And by that, I mean, if I start from top to bottom, we have Atom. So Atom is also a separate website, so atomm.com. And this is xTool's collaboration platform. So here you can find projects, you can share your own projects, and there is benefits to doing that. So I can quickly and easily find a product that I want to make and go, okay, I want to do this. And I'll add this one. So there's two variations of this. So .xcs is xTool's old version of the software, xTool Creative Studio, and XS is their more newer file type for the xTool Studio. So it will open up either, but where possible, I would highly recommend the .xs. So I've just added that, and straight away it's added it to the M1 Ultra. This is where this product was designed on. Now, if I was to just simply switch this, so I just want to show you something. So it's, at the moment, it's got no material selected. So if I was to say I want to do this on wood, I'll use this plywood here. If I was to ungroup this so I can select a single object, you can see here the material reference. 1/8 birch plywood, and it selected this, and this is 90 power, 4 speed. Now, if I was to switch this to my M2, 100% power, 3 speed. So you can see this software will adapt the material based on the machine, and more specifically based on the laser power that you have. If I had the 20-watt module installed, I can guarantee you this material test will be completely different. So it's honestly that simple. So that's just one of the many things that xTool offer. So that's the Atom, and that's a way where you can find and share projects. So there's a projects for all different things. There's even print-based projects. So if you have a power printer, or maybe you have the new O1 on pre-order, again, you have many, many options available to you. So if you're new to laser engraving or printing, honestly, this is the first port of call. Now, I showed you some material settings. So there's a ton of material settings. So xTool have an absolute metric ton of different material settings. They have their own material. And if you're looking to get perfect results from the get-go, from day one, you can look at ordering xTool materials. So if I was to show you their materials on their website, if I close out of that and just go up here to material, shop all material, xTool have a ton of different materials depending on your needs. So if you say to me, Wayne, I'm looking at buying the M2, I want to cut some wood-based products out. If we click on plywood, you'll have all these different types of plywood. And it might be you're not sure which one you want yet. So you go with trial kit, or maybe you say, do you know what? I know exactly what I want. I want this. These products come with a QR code. And you might say that's nothing special. That's absolutely true. So you got one of two ways. If you buy xTool material, you can either select the material manually, like I did in the list. So if I was to show you again, I can physically go new project and go, I am going to be working on material, birch plywood. So you can specifically select what material, or there's another option. So if I was to switch this over, and maybe if I was to point this over to the M2. So the M2 is looking a little bit bare over there, and you might notice that if you've tuned into my streams before, it's missing the air purifier, and I'll show you that in just a second. But what I want to show you is how easy it is. So I've ordered some xTool material. I have QR code that comes with it. And what I've done is I've just dropped that into the bed, and you can see it's detected the QR code and it's applied the settings. So this is one of the amazing features of the M2. So I have the M2 in auto mode. So auto mode has identified the material. It has adjusted the laser the correct distance away from the material, so it's in focus, so it'll give me optimum results. It's taken a close-up picture, and then it's also detected that QR code. So you might be saying to me, this QR code here looks messed up. And the reason why that is this clear picture here, this is the M2's close-up camera. So you can see just how different the images are. That panoramic, it has two cameras, the M2. It has a 5 megapixel panoramic camera that's located on the lid, and that will take a picture of the whole bed. But you'll get distortion in terms of where an object is compared to the laser. So this is why xTool have this close-up laser that's located to the right of the module assembly. So depending on what module you have, the print module or the laser, To the right of that is the close-up camera, and this 2 megapixel camera gives a perfect result. And you might be saying, well, 5 megapixel panoramic camera is 5 megapixels. Why is it, the 2 megapixel camera better? And the simple answer is the lens. So anyone that's a photographer will know megapixels is just one aspect of an image quality. So when you're looking at image quality, the lens is sometimes just as important, if not the most important thing about a camera. So the type of lens that's in the 2 megapixel camera is completely different. And because of this, you're able to get very accurate results. You can see here. So now if I was to do some close-up stitching and you'll be able to see. And this is how xTool have made it so that camera, the close-up camera, is very, very accurate to what you can see on the screen. So I can go, do you know what? Let's engrave this or score this line. And I'll put it just there. I'll make it smaller. And you can frame this. So you can say, how do I know that this is going to be where it's going to be? So you got a couple of framing options. So everyone's probably seen a gantry frame with the little light on it, and it is helpful. But what I find most helpful framing with the M2 is this virtual crosshair. So if you hit the dot dot next to the framing, you've got this virtual red crosshair. And what I'll do now is I'll hit frame. And you can see here, so I can zoom in more. And I'll hit start. And that's in real time. So you can see that moving. So in the machine just there to my right, you can see the laser head moving. So again, I'll do it. So if you check it out, you can just see that laser head moving. And that is the virtual framing. So this comes in handy. And then this is one of the new features of the M2. So if this is your first laser, the M2 is a great starting point depending on what you're trying to achieve. And again, if you're looking for more information on the M2, I will drop a link in the comments. You can follow that and look at the M2. So the M2 is a fantastic piece of kit. And again, it has its very specific use cases. And while I'm here, if I was to just show you just how easy it is to switch the assembly. So I'm going to show you the laser full screen. And what I'll do is I will try not to get in the way of the camera too much. If I would just zoom in. So there's a couple of things. So I mentioned the 5 megapixel camera. That is located on the lid here. Every time you open and close this lid, it will make a beeping sound. So if I can continue talking while I do this. And what it's doing is it's taking a picture every time you close that lid. So if I do this again, there we go. And it will move back out the way. Now, here, this is where this close-up camera is located. Now, if you was to say, how do I change the module? It's as simple as unplugging this USB-C and literally, so I've done that with one hand. So this is the 10 watt version. It has metal prongs here and it has magnets that are located in the four corners pretty much. And what happens is this will literally just stick into place. And it's a case of just pushing that cable back in and it's ready to use. Now, if I wanted to switch out to the 20 watt, maybe the 3 watt infrared or the inkjet module, it's that simple. Now, I used to have this attached to the air purifier. I've disconnected that temporarily because I want to show you something. If I go back round, and what I will do is I will switch over to the base. So I want to show you this F2. So the reason why I don't have the air purifier attached is because I want to show you the F2 and the difference in size. So this is the air purifier. This is compatible with the F2, the F1, as well as the M2. So if you are buying the M2, make sure to buy the version that has the adapter that will allow you to connect the hose pipe. So if I was to show you the actual hose, so this is the hose pipe, and typically speaking, you would hook this machine up to this, and you can see the space it takes up is quite big compared to just this sleek solution here. So xTool have come up with an amazing solution in my opinion, and this is specifically for the F2. So they have made it where you eliminate this pipe, no longer needed. And what happens is the F2 Air Purifier Go attaches directly to the back, no hose pipe required. So gone are the days where you need that. Now this is a fantastic piece of kit. I'm still going to use this at home, but this has made this so much easier to use out and about. So I can pick this up. This has a handle. It's increased the weight just a little bit. So the F2 weighs about 4.6 kilograms. And it's still very portable with this attached. And it's very sturdy. It's screwed into the back. I've used this, not as much as I'd like at the moment, but every time I've used this, there's absolutely no smell. The air purifier works absolutely perfect. Now, if I was to switch over to my iPhone, hopefully it kicks in. There we go. So if I was to spin around and just show you the back. So this is the machine. If I just take this out, move this over here, and I'll attach the air purifier back to the M2. Now, the first thing I want to show you is this single cable. So there's a single cable now that powers both the air purifier and the F2. Now, in terms of filter, this comes off, and this is a very meaty. It feels very heavy, I'll be honest. So I don't know what they've done differently. If I show you that. So I don't know what they've done differently here, but it's fantastic. And again, this just slides in and it gives you directions. So the back, this is what goes in the back. So it doesn't go in upside down like that. It literally just goes in. So you can't go wrong. So this is a consumable item. This will not necessarily expire, but become less effective over time. So do bear that in mind. I don't have any exact figures right now because I've not had a chance to really push it through its limits. And again, this just snaps back into place and it feels magnetic somehow in the way that it snaps in, which I think these here are magnets. But that is the Air Purifier Go. And again, this is an all-in-one unit. So this attaches to it. And again, it powers it through one cable. So it simplifies the power management of it. Now, if we switch gears and we switch over to the F2, you can see in the top here, F2, the xTool F2 Air Purifier Go. Now, if I click on that, you can see it's connected. And there's a few different options. You can see the filter hours. I've not really used it. But you get a gist of how long you've used it for. xTool say 2 weeks of heavy use. I don't know at the moment how long the filter will last. For me, it really depends on what type of material you're using. So if you're engraving or cutting a lot of wood. That's going to create a lot of fumes, and that will probably make your filter clog up sooner rather than later. So it really depends on what you're doing. So do check it out. Again, when you pull the filter out, you can have a look and see. Sometimes you can just back out the dust, I guess. But do check it out. I have air purifiers here in the office, so if the air quality ever dips, I will be alerted. So I highly recommend you do that. So this is the F2. So the F2, with the latest update, has got a little bit of an upgrade. So one of the best features I love about the M2 is the auto mode. So how I can close that lid and it automatically identified the material, set the focus. The F2 now has that ability in some ways. It's very limited compared to the M2 because it can't move around. You have to put the material underneath the laser. So by that I mean, if I zoom in just a little bit, you should be able to see a light. So a little dot. And what I'll do is I will make that dot wider. So you should be able to see there is a red dot and a blue dot. Now, when those dots become one, that means the laser is properly in focus with the material to give you ideal results. So if I was to put in a leather laser ball patch, you might be able to see that a bit better now if I make that full screen. So you can see two very different dots, a red dot and a blue dot. And again, we can adjust this manually on the actual laser itself. So if I zoom out a little bit, and again, I'll try not to get in front of the laser, but here is a dial. So if I move this, you can see the laser going up. And if I move it the opposite way, I go down. So you can manually adjust the focal distance of the laser from the material if you wish. My go-to option would be to use this software. So you can automatically measure it using this auto measure. So if I click on auto measure and then show you the machine, I'll zoom in and then I'll click this button here. And you can see that's doing it automatically. It's gone past it, now it's going to back up. And there we go. Now it's in focus. So if I manually get that out of focus again, there we go. So what I want to show you is how to do it in auto mode. So what I'm going to do actually is just move this a little bit so it's still underneath the laser, so you can still see the dots are touching it. Now what I'm going to do is in the settings, I'm going to device settings. So not to be confused with xTool Studio settings. So this is the settings for the laser. So if you go to the right of the laser, you have switch and connect device, and you have device settings. So the laser has to be on and connected. So either physically connected or over Wi-Fi, like how this laser is connected. Now, if I go to device settings, you can see here, auto mode. So I'm going to have the stops when enclosure opened. So I'm going to tick that on for the moment. So what that means is I cannot operate this machine now with the guard open for safety reasons. And I will enable this auto mode. So when you enable it, it tells you what you need to do. So for processing accuracy, after enabling auto mode, please place the material in the base plate center. Ensure that the combined red blue dot spot falls on the surface of the material, which it does. So we've put the material in, the dots are touching it. confirm. Now I'm going to say you can manually trigger it or automatically trigger it. It really depends on your needs. So there's reasons why you'd want either. So for this case, I'm going to leave it on close enclosure trigger. So when I close that enclosure, it will trigger this auto mode. So I'm going to leave it as it is. And just to show you how that does do it, what I will do is I will drop in something that I engraved the other day just in the top, just so you can see that the picture updates. So I've dropped that in there. And what I'll do is simply close this. So if I was to just zoom out, all I'm going to do is close this lid. And now it's focusing. So we can see that here. Focusing. Focus has been successful. No material information detected. Please manually select target material after the automated process ends. So what that is saying is it did not detect that QR code. So it's just telling us that we need to tell it what material it's using. Alternatively, we can enter in the settings manually. So in this case, this is laser leather. So I don't think it's that one. So if we go down to leather, this is where it's beneficial to have that QR code. And I believe it's brown to silver. See if we can find this. I'll just type in brown. There we go. Hit apply. And it's done. The settings are there. So what we can do now is, I guess I can show you how we can create something with AI. So if I hit create with AI, we have a wide variety of options. So we can engrave, we can cut, we can do relief, we can vectorize. In this case, we want to engrave. And what I'll do is we will do I like to do line drawings. Line drawings tend to pop on certain material. So wood, for example, you can't get that high levels of detail because of the makeup of the wood, the grain. It just ends up getting lost. So for me, if I was to put an image on wood, line drawings really pop. So in this case, I'll do a line drawing, and the same applies for leather for me. And they've added new types of engraving. So please do check it out. So I'm going to select this line engraving. And you can see here from style that there's a few different options. So I like to do fine line art. And what I'll do is I will grab an asset. So I typically do my dog. So I really do love my dog. I love how he looks. He's very photogenic. And what I'll do is we'll turn this image here into a line drawing. So all I'm going to do is drag that same image into here. Alternatively, you can click here and click on AI edit. So if you already have an image here, you can edit it and it will automatically upload it here. If anyone has any questions, please do reach out. So right now, what I'm about to do is turn this photo into something that's laser engravable ready. So I don't have to go to a different program. I don't have to use a different AI. And I should note there is a small cost to this. So if you go down to the bottom here, you've got buy credits. 500 credits for $5, 1,000 credits for $10, 2,000 credits for $20. And remember earlier how I said Atom, there are benefits to sharing your resources. So if you create a project and share it, you have the ability to possibly generate these credits here. So they're very cheap. For me, I incorporate into the price of the item that I sell because it saves me so much time. And again, this is just a streamlined my workflow. So what I'm going to do now is hit this, and you do have a few different options before I do that. So I generally use fast mode, which uses 6 credits. So that's about 6 cents. So what, 4.5 pence? And you do have a few different options in terms of how it will come out. So I'll say, do you know what? I want this to be a 3x4. And that's it. Other than that, that's me done. So I've not had to type in anything in the prompt. It's simply click, click, select the options that I want, and go. And bear in mind, this is AI. So the image might need tweaking or regenerating. So you could do, I've generated this image many, many times, and the results are always slightly different. But this saves me so much time. So you can see here, for me, I'm very happy with that. If you aren't happy with this result, let's just say you have it generate something and it comes out nothing like how it intended to be, you do have the ability up here or you used to at least. There we go. You have it. You have the ability here to have changed it. So approve of it or not approve. So if you don't approve of it, as long as you don't add it, you can get your credits back. So what I'm going to do now is just get rid of some of this white space. So you see it's got a white background. So I'm just going to say cut out. And that's it. As far as the rest goes, I actually quite like it. So I will now crop the top. So crop this space out. Hit save. And now I can rotate it. So what I'm going to do here in this case is I'm actually going to open up this. I'll take out this here and I'm just going to put in that comes in absolutely handy. So this L-shaped bracket, and this allows you to put things flush in there. So again, you can see it here, that L-shaped bracket, that means that is in there. Fine. I'll drop this down. And if I click on this here, probably make this bigger. So what I'm going to do is just turn off auto mode, because every time I open and close this, it's going to take a measurement. And what I want to show you is the real-time framing. So if I hit framing, I have it set to rectangle now. If I hit framing, you can see blue outline. So I know exactly where that is going to engrave. And that, to me, looks absolutely fine. Now, you do have different options. By that, I mean, if we go to outline and frame, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's an actual outline of my dog on there. And again, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll see if I can zoom in. That's as far as I can zoom in. So that is fantastic. So what I'll do here is I'll stop that framing. I'm happy with where it is. And if I hit edit along the top and hit auto adjust, so you might be saying, whoa, what just happened here? So I've turned it into a line drawing. but that line drawing might not come out as intended on the material. So xTool knows what material we're engraving on. And when material is dark and you engrave on it and it goes light, what tends to happen is you'll get like a negative look of the photo. So when you engrave it, it kind of looks like a negative. So the way that it needs to be engraved is you make the photo look like a negative to begin with. And as it engraves it, it will look like the opposite. So this might not make sense right now, but when I engrave it, hopefully it does. So if I just leave the settings as is, so when I click on it, it's using the blue light. You can see here a look of how it looks, or potentially how it looks. Dot duration, the power, the dots per inch. So I'm going to increase the dots per inch to 500, and I'm going to leave that as it is. In fact, no, we'll leave it as stock setting just for time. So 1 minute 13. So I have to close this. I will zoom out, and what we'll do is I'll just hit start. So what I have to do now, I don't know how if you can hear that, but the air purifier is cranked up. You can really hear it. And that is engraving. So if I zoom in, you can really see this. I don't know how well you can hear it, honestly. And that is done. So we know it's done because you can see that red dots. So once you see that dot, you know it's done. So I hope that was helpful. So you can see on the screen now that this is done. And what I'll do is I will take this out. Let's see if I can, there we go. And if I switch over to my desk cam, maybe, if it's working, yes, it is. Look at that. So that is literally how effortless it is. So this is xTool Select Material. So it's like a two-tone laser engravable fake leather, PU leather. So when you have the right settings, it brings out this nice gold or silver look depending on which one you buy. So for example, this is the silver one again. If you don't get the settings quite right, it doesn't look great. But when you get the settings perfect, this really pops. So that is literally how easy it is to get started with laser engraving. So this material, I could have done this on the M2. So what I want to do now is connect the air purifier back up to the M2. So that big air purifier that I showed you. If I switch over to there, what I want to show you is me connecting this box back up. So this is the air purifier. So it's presently turned on but not plugged in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the cable from the M2 to the air purifier to the outermost cable. It says other on the back. And I'm then going to connect the power and then attach the hose pipe from the M2 to this. And when I do that, I'll know it's connected because there will be a light on these two rings. So there's two lights on this machine. This light here means manual mode. This light here means it will automatically sync with the machine and turn on when you use it. So if I go over here now, what I'll do is I will switch over to my iPhone so you can kind of see and get a better idea of what is happening with the machine. Now I've switched over to my iPhone, make sure I got the orientation right. There we go. So the first thing I want to do here is attach the power. So I've attached the power, it's turned on. So this is the cable that I want to attach. So what I'm going to do is attach that cable, but first I'll attach this hose pipe so it's out the way, and I'm going to attach that to the top here. So that is attached. And now, if I move this closer, what I'm going to do is attach this into here. And if I was to just show you the lights on the front, you can see at the moment it's in manual mode. When it's connected and detects the machine, it will automatically go into that mode. So I will do that now. There we go. And there we go. So it's attached. There we go. And what I'll do, just switch over to, there we go. So we have that attached now. If I hit finish, I'll just show my screen here. And what we'll do is we'll switch over to the M2. So when the air purifier is attached, you don't necessarily see it in the same way. So by that I mean, if I go to device settings, you don't really see it attached in the same way. So you'll know if it's attached simply because, if I was to zoom in, you have that light just there. So if I make this big, there we go. So when that light is lit up with those double rings, that is in automatic mode. So that is how we know that the air purifier is attached and connected correctly. So the only thing we need to make sure we connect correctly is the hose pipe. So the hose pipe connects to the top of the machine, not the bottom. So there is a directional instructions on the back, which tells you where to connect the hose. So obviously if we connected it into where the filtered air comes out, we'd be pushing air the wrong way. So it needs to go in at the top and the clean air comes out at the bottom. So as long as you do that, all will be well. And now if I jump back, so if you don't see it here, don't fret. It doesn't mean it's not working or not attached. So as you can see, it still has this here, So what we'll do is we will do something similar. I will have a look for material. I'll look for that same laser safe leverable leather material, see if I can grab some. If it's readily available. Yes, it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this in the machine. I'm going to take out that QR code. I've closed it. So this is in auto mode. And again, I'm just going to copy this image. In fact, we will add the image directly from our chats. And I'll do the same thing again, cut out and crop it. Now, let's just say I don't know what material this is. xTool have the ability with the M2 to identify the material. So if I go over to this unknown material, I can do AI material recognition, and I'm simply just going to use camera inside to take a picture. I'm not going to add anything in there. And I'm going to say AI recognition. I'm not going to use these settings. I just want to show you how easy it is to use them. Brown synthetic leather patch. It gives you some recommendations. Engraving 50 to 50 speed. So I'm not going to apply and save because I know what material this is. This is this brown to silver PU leather. So you can see the settings it come up with were different than the settings that were recommended. And again, I'm going to spin this around. And what I'll do is I will just put that in flush. So I've lifted this up. And I do like the crosshair that's included on the base. So I can put that where I want it. So this has automatically adjusted the height or the focal distance from the laser. And again, what I'll do here is I will do the framing, but I will do that virtual crosshair. So I could use that weak laser, weak light. So the reason why that is labeled the way it is because this is a class 1 laser and they're very mindful of people's eyes and safety. So when you do a framing with the actual laser on the machine, it's very dim. So if you have an environment where there's a lot of light, it can be hard to see that framing. But for me, this virtual red crosshair, I don't have to go over to the back of the office. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to hit start. For me, I'm very, very happy with that frame. So very happy with the accuracy of that camera. And again, if I click on this, click edit, and I'm just going to hit auto adjust. If I preview that, you can kind of see how it's going to engrave. And again, this isn't exactly how it looks. It gives you a representation. So if I hit process, this is going to take 3 minutes and 29 seconds. And I'm going to hit start. And now all I have to do to start that is hit this button on the front of here. So right now it's engraving away. I can enable this monitoring mode. And this will allow me to see what's happening. So again, you've seen how quick it was to engrave on here, on the F2 compared to the gantry. So the gantry physically has to move on an X, Y, and Z axis. And what I want to do here now is I'm going to minimize this. And how about we work on something different? Maybe we say, do you know what? Let's work on the F2 Ultra. So right now you can see this laser's busy. I'm going to switch to my F2 Ultra. Right now I have the cutting plate in. And you might say, do you know what? Let's cut something. So it could be, let's cut the outline of Chuck. So if I go back over to here, I'm going to add this in there. And again, I'm going to crop. Going to cut out. We could say, do you know what? We want to engrave this, but also cut it out of wood. So to do that, I'm just going to do an offset and an external offset, 2 millimeters, absolutely fine. And you can see here there's an outline effectively. I'm going to change that to red. Red always signifies to me a cut. And I'm going to then select the material. So we'll go with this plywood. I'll then drop this back in here. And I want that engraved. That all looks good to me. Have that as a cut. And 44 passes, 146 speed, and we'll go with 58. So if I hit preview, there's no content to preview. Drag this onto the work area. Now I hit preview and you'll see. So this is one of the new features of xTool Studio. You get an actual breakout. So right now it's got all parts. So I could say the top part, but that's how it's going to look. And the bottom part is just the cutout. Look, okay, do you know what? Let's do this. And what I'll do is I'll find some wood. And we'll give it a go. I think what I'll do is I'll just break some wood, make this fit. There we go. Take this out. So you can see the difference between the diode of the F2 and the diode of the gantry-based laser. So which one looks better? So could it increase the dots per inch? So if you're seeing, I don't know how well you can see it, you can see some of the material through this. For me, that means there needs to be tighter dots per inch. So that looks way better than that one, for example. If we switch back over, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut that out of this material. So this is just some material I have here in the office. So it's going to engrave and then cut. If I zoom in there, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to correctly focus the laser. I'm just going to shoot over to the machine and make sure that it is properly focused. So it is not, it was focused on a hole. So I've just manually focused this. And what I'll do is I will operate this with the guard open, and I will wear the appropriate safety glasses to make sure that can be operated with it. So I have my safety glasses on, and that's because I'm operating this with the guard open, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do is just hit process. Actually, I'll take another picture. And there we go. I'm going to frame it. So when you frame it, you can see that physical outline of where it's going to engrave. I'm very happy with that. In fact, if I move this around here, this is going up and down. So what I'm going to do here is simply balance it down like that. I'm very, very happy with how that's coming out. So what I'm going to do is hit process, hit start, and again, wear my safety glasses. So I'm going to hit the start button on the touchpad. And what I'll do is I'll make this full screen. And I will switch over to my iPhone. So I can really smell this. And what doesn't help, I guess, is it's blowing it out into, there we go. So you can see and now that's going to make 56 passes, I believe. So you can see some smoke when it does that. And again, I have this now venting outside. It does help if you do that. So we switch over while it's doing that. You can see there's another 46 seconds left. And when this is done, this will be us done for the day. Oh, that's my dog. So again, if anyone has any questions about what I'm doing, please do reach out. I'm more than happy to help. So this is me showing you that you're not limited to just using one laser at once. One machine can be used on, one computer can be used to manage multiple machines. So I use this consistently. I manage multiple machines with a single PC. I do have other PCs here in the office, so you're not limited to having the software installed on one PC. That is done, and I will drop in a link to the software in the comments. So if you're looking to test out this software without a laser, you can do so. So that is done. And what I will do now is I will just switch over to the, there we go. And if I make this full screen, There we go. So you can see here. And because the laser dot size is so tiny on the f2 Ultra UV, again, that is something that we just did using AI. And again, I could increase the lines per centimeter or the dots per inch, depending on what way you're engraving. If it's an image, it tends to be lines per inch. If it's a vector, an SVG, it's lines per centimeter. But that is that. That's fantastic. And that's just literally all using xTool's inbuilt features. I will be online again on Wednesday and Friday at noon. So that's 12 p.m. UK time. If you have any questions in the meantime, my contact information is on the screen. It's in the comments. Please do reach out. If you're looking for a demo, I can find a suitable host for you. If you let me know your location, I can find you a suitable host in that region if you're looking for an in-person. If you're looking for something specific, for example, if you're looking for the power printer, I can point you in the direction of someone that has a power printer and you can have a demo. So I'll point you to their squad profile page. I'm more than happy to do that. The great thing about the squad is we're a family. We help each other out. So I'm more than happy to send customers to someone locally. I'm happy that you're interested in xTool and I want you set up for the future. So I'm a small business owner myself, so I appreciate the help when I got it. So again, if you're looking to do something specific, please do reach out. If I can help you in any way, I will. If not, I will not leave you in the lurch. I will always point you in the direction of someone who knows more than me. And again, I'm online Wednesday and Friday, and it's going to be pretty much the same thing. I'm hoping to cover a bit more in the next few days in terms of batch processing. So I'll show you how to batch process, so how to load up a CSV file with variables in it. So for example, you might have a CSV file with 20 names and you need to do 20 baubles, Christmas baubles. I'll show you just how easy it is to load up that CSV file and get batching away with xTool. So we'll cover that on Wednesday, and if not Wednesday, it'll be Friday. I'm hopeful to get the rotary device attached to the M2 again. So I do have that. It does take a little while, so I tend not to do it on live streams unless it's specifically dedicated to doing rotary items. But the new features of the software, I do want to demonstrate some of those, and it does involve the rotary device for the M2. So again, if you have any questions, please do reach out. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you again on Wednesday.